Hello, my friends. I'm Doug Ballinger, Logan's dad, and welcome to another episode of Logan's Voice. Today, I want to talk about something powerful, something that often feels too small to matter, but in reality, it's the very thing that changes the world: the ripple effect. What if your smallest action, just one dropped pebble, could create a wave of hope that transforms lives and communities? I've learned through grief and through advocacy that hope isn't just an emotion. Hope is a force, it's active. And when you take even the tiniest step in love, compassion, or truth, it sends ripples you may never fully see. So today, we're going to walk through how these small beginnings grow into waves of transformation and how you have the power to be the pebble that starts it all. Let's start small. A kind word spoken to someone who feels invisible can change their entire day and maybe even save their life. One volunteer hour can spark a whole project. Carrying Narcan in your pocket might feel like nothing until you use it to save someone's child, someone's parent, or someone's sibling. When Logan died, I didn't know if speaking his name out loud would ever matter. But saying his name, telling his story, and refusing to let him be forgotten, that was my pebble. And the ripples are still moving outward. People come up to me and say, I carry Narcan now because I heard you telling Logan's story. That's a life saved because of Logan's ripple. Never underestimate the echo of small beginnings. We've seen it happen all around us. Think of the people who started neighborhood cleanups that led to real policy changes about waste and recycling, or the students who started online petitions that forced huge corporations to change their practices. Those didn't begin with massive teams and millions of dollars. They started with one spark, one action, one tiny pebble. And I've seen it in this movement too. Hope Movement Coalition and Bridge the Gap started as one person raising awareness and has evolved into a huge event every year. Recently, we had about 1,200 people join us down at the Riverfront Park in North Little Rock. And this started out by just a handful of people refusing to stay silent. Today, it's a large event. Law enforcement showed up. Families gathered. Recovery warriors are celebrated. This is a ripple becoming a wave. But here's the truth: those sparks weren't always welcomed. People laughed and doubted and said, it won't make a difference. And yet they kept coming because hope refuses to quit. So, how does a ripple turn into a current? It happens when courage is contagious. When one person steps forward, it gives others permission to do the same. Think about it. When someone in recovery shares their story, it inspires another person to reach out for help. When a grieving parent like me speaks their child's name, it gives another parent permission to say, my child died too. My child's life mattered. That's how stigma breaks down. That's how shame loses its power. For me, it was standing up and saying, I am Logan's dad. He mattered, and his story matters. That simple act, though terrifying, unlocked something bigger. It gave other people courage to speak. And I've also started Dad's Movement, DADDS, on Facebook, a private group for fathers, Dads Against Deadly Drug Supply. That's the ripple becoming a current. And when the current builds long enough, you get waves. We've seen overdose reversal programs expand because of grassroots advocacy. We've seen stigma begin to crumble as more families speak openly. We've seen policy conversations shift because people refuse to be silent. And here's the most important part: behind every headline, every big change, there's always someone who started with one small step. One dad who wouldn't shut up about his son. One mom who started a movement because her son died. One teen who told their friends, don't take that pill, it could be poison. That's how ripples become waves. That's how hope transforms communities. Now, here's where you come in. You may be listening and thinking, I'm not an activist, I'm not a speaker, what can I do? You don't have to do everything. You just have to drop your pebble, carry Narcan, and tell one other person why. Speak your loved one's name. Don't let stigma silence you. Share this podcast with someone who needs to hear it. Start one conversation in your community, your school, your church, your workplace. Hope is not passive. Hope is an active force. And every single person listening right now has a hand in the current. One act of courage can inspire thousands. Logan's life and Logan's loss taught me that. My pebble was speaking his name and refusing to be silent. And I've seen the waves it created. Families carrying Narcan, communities raising awareness, people choosing compassion over stigma. And now it's your turn. Your pebble, your ripple, your wave. If this spoke to you, please comment. Please share this podcast with someone. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time, remember, I am Logan's voice. I am Logan's dad. And I will not be silent.